Namaste, Jai Hind. Namaste, Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this very, very special edition of The Right Stand. This will go down and forever remain with me in my memories because today it's a historic moment for us here in Bharat and all those who believe in Ram, all those who believe in the Maryada Purushottam and the values that he left behind for all of us to follow over more than a millennia, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why on the 22nd of January 2024 to be able to come to you live from Shri Ayodhya Dham is very, very special. And that too, I'm in the midst of those who have gone ahead and had the good fortune of seeing Ram Lala soon after the Pran Pratishtha has been completed. We'll talk to all of them, all Buddhijeevis, all of them today colored in saffron. Not because it's a leaning towards a political identity, but because Bhagwa stands for the sun, for light, for knowledge, and that's what we were as Bharat, as Vishwaguru, and that's the clan. Surya Dev was the Isht Dev, or of the clan of the Ikshvaku Vanshaj of Vivaswan, that is Surya. Not my place to say all of this. We'll get to hear a lot more from them as we talk about Ram and Ram Rajya. But first, Siddhant Mishra is another lucky person for all the hard work that he's put in, along with Aman, Payal, all the entire team of News 18. He's right inside the temple right now. So take us through the next 3 minutes are yours. Siddhant, go ahead, please. Give us a fantastic darshan to all of you.
That's right, Anand. There is a kripa of Ram Lala on all of us, whole of our network, and this is the reason that we are the first channel, Anand, to report live from inside the Ram temple. Now, this is the entry of Ram temple, Anand. I would ask my video journalist Rama Shankar if he can come along with me. This is how the entry to the Sanctum Sanctorum looks like, and as you know, Anand, there are mandap that have been made. This is Nritya Mandap, the first one, where we are right now, and in fact we'll take our viewers to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and in fact after Nritya Mandap, and right now we are at Rang Mandap, and after that Sabha Mandap, Pratna Mandap, and Kirtan Mandap. So that is how the temple is built, Anand. And there where you see, Anand, that Ram Lala's idol, and I want viewers to do the darshan of Ram Lala for the first time live on CNN News 18. We are bringing this special broadcast from inside the Ram temple, where you can see, Anand, the devotees and a different mood, different vibe altogether. And as you rightly said, that we are the chosen ones, we are the lucky ones who got this access inside the Ram temple on the first day. And there you see, Anand, that's Ram Lala's idol, and there we are heading towards the Sanctum Sanctorum. It's unbelievable, and it's a different vibe altogether. That's the Sanctum Sanctorum, and we are at the Kirtan Mandap. And Ram Lala, there you see beautiful, innocent idol of Ram Lala, made of black sandstone, 51-inch tall, and this is the same idol, this is the same idol of which the Pran Pratishtha got concluded today, and now from tomorrow Mandir will be open for the devotees. Right now we are the ones who have got access inside the temple, and can see the sea of devotees. It's a different moment, and it's a different vibe. It cannot be expressed in. And coming to the temple in September when it was being constructed, at that point in time I got a chance to report in the under construction temple. Now again I'm here, and now we are again here on the occasion of the Pran Pratishtha. It's a different vibe. There's a lot of crowd, Anand, here, and in fact it's getting difficult to do the broadcast. But look, this is how the temple looks like, and I would also like to show the Golden Gate. Now that's the Golden Gate. That's very much in new. That's the Golden Gate, Anand. And you can see that Golden Gate. Step away,
Siddhant. Step away. Yeah. Slowly, step away with your Vijay. Just steady your shots, and now tell me how you feel. Calm down, breathe in. I know this is something which is phenomenal, but also not just as a journalist, not just as somebody who's live on the right stand, but somebody who's experiencing history happening in front of him. How does it feel? How many times have you come in and had darshan already as part of work? And what is the feeling that evokes, that Ram Lala Virajman evokes in you?
Well, that's right. Ram Lala has always been an inspiration for us, Anand. And in fact, this must be the third time that I have come to this temple. I came twice when this temple was being constructed, once in September and once in December. And at that point in time, it was hard to believe that that the temple could get complete by 22nd of January. But hats off to the builders, hats off to the companies involved, contractors and laborers, Anand. It's magnificent and perhaps one of the best temples built in India in recent times. Because once you come inside, it's a different vibe altogether, and it's completely Ram-may here where we are reporting from. And look at the work that have been done on the walls, and also these golden gates, Anand, which were quite in news at the time of their installation. So it's a different feeling, it's a different vibe, and each one of us here is enjoying this moment. As you rightly pointed out,
Right.
it's a very exciting time, historic day for each one of us. And there, you can see, Anand, the cops, those who were deployed on duty, they have also been asked to come inside and take the darshan of Ram Lala. Also, the other people, those who were involved in the preparations and were involved in the construction of the temple, have also been invited to take the darshan of Ram Lala. And in fact, we are also the part
Quickly,
of,
Siddhant, another minute, Siddhant. If you can speak to some of the Ram Bhakts inside, what their feeling is. Everybody's got their phone, their cameras up, they're all looking at Ram Lala.
राम लला आ गए। कहाँ से आए आप? कहाँ से आए? दर्शन हो गए? कितनी देर से इंतजार कर रहे थे दर्शन? 500 से आए हुए थे, अब दर्शन हुए। दिल एकदम अच्छा हो गया, जय सिया राम हो गया। आप कहाँ से आए? Okay. So there you see the excitement at Ram Temple, and a lot of devotees have come here. In fact, it's
Right.
full of people.
Well, Siddhant.
It's full of people next to the Sanctum
Well,
Sanctorum.
well,
and there
Siddhant,
is
do
no
one.
equal-
Well, Siddhant, drop the mic. You can tell your VJ to switch off the camera, savor the moment and enjoy the darshan, because you are one of the few lucky ones, even though it goes into thousands on day one of Ram Lala, but you are one of the few lucky thousands out of 140 crore to go ahead and get that darshan. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers would agree that this is indeed truly a special moment for everybody. Let's bring it down closer to all the special people here on the stage. With me this evening from the far corner, Deepa Malik, President of Paralympic India, and also special invitee. Namaste. We have Swami Mitranandam, Chinmaya Mission Head. Namaskar, Swamiji. Thank you very much. Dr. Abhay Asthana, Senior Scientist, Nokia Bell Labs, thinker, and a lot more. Such a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very, very much. Never thought that you were going to be here today and you're going to be in our midst, and the person who's made that possible is Nachiketa Tiwari, Professor IIT Kanpur. So this is the IIT Kanpur connection between the two of you that's made this happen. But the Sutre Maniganaiva, the string that binds it all, Swami Vigyananand, Namaste. This is a continuation of our series that we had started. So good to have you with us, Swami Vigyananand. It must be a very special moment for you, because you have to hold the mic in your hand and then talk, sir.
Very special moment, Anand. I was just thinking, when we were doing in the Ramjan movement, we were all young. That time we used to have a slogan, Ram Lala हम आएंगे, मंदिर वहीं बनाएंगे, मंदिर भव्य बनाएंगे. हम लोग उस समय नारा लगाते थे, हम लोग को पता नहीं था कब बनाएंगे, लेकिन आज वो फाइनल डे आ गया. और जिसको कह सकते हैं, ये हम मंदिर तो कहीं भी भारत में बना सकते हैं, लेकिन इस मंदिर के साथ हिस्ट्री जुड़ा हुआ है. कम से कम मिनिमम 2000 साल का हिस्ट्री जुड़ा हुआ है. विक्रमादित्य के समय का हिस्ट्री है, और कम से कम 500 सालों का हिस्ट्री ऑफ स्ट्रगल है, जिसको कहते हैं सफरिंग एंड पेन एंड स्ट्रगल एंड फाइनली ट्रम्प की, है ना, असत्य के ऊपर सत्य की विजय, है ना, उसका प्रतीक है. ये आज सभी हिंदुओं के लिए, दुनिया के सभी हिंदुओं के लिए गर्व का विषय है, जो हम लोगों ने जो संकल्प लिया, जैसा कि आज योगी जी और मोदी जी ने दोनों का जो हमारा राम भक्तों का संकल्प था, हिंदू समाज का संकल्प, आज वो पूरा हुआ.
एक और चारों वेद के ज्ञाता, चतुर्वेदी उनका नाम है, प्रवीण चतुर्वेदी जी हमारे साथ हैं. प्लीज टेक द माइक. थैंक यू सो मच. ही इज अ फाउंडर एंड CEO, Pratyam, and filmmaker. One of the first people to call out and say what he actually felt, and this was also way back in the 90s. So good to have you with us, Praveen.
Thank you so much,
Lovely,
Anand.
lovely to meet.
Thank
But
you.
first, let me ask you, Deepaji, how does it feel? We saw Siddhant inside the temple. I've seen all of you have gone inside. So let's start with, did you feel the divinity? Did you feel the moment that was special?
Yes, indeed, a very precious moment, a very beautiful experience. Um, something very interesting happened, and I was speaking to my mother from there, and I said, Mummy, I'm on a wheelchair. I do not know, if people stand up in front of me, I won't be able to look. Maybe I'll miss few sights. And my mother told me, Deepa, today is the day to look within rather than looking out. So, but the arrangements, the way we were welcomed, and I speak as a person with disability who went there as a pilgrim on a wheelchair, a special invitee, and I'm so grateful to the organizers, volunteers, the Ram Trust people, the hosts. I also thank UP government and above all Adaniya Modi ji, that indeed the vision of the future of India that he was speaking in the temple today, that today now we have to start looking ahead.
Yes.
And I'm very, very convinced that the future of India is definitely a very inclusive India where nobody will be left behind, because I had a beautiful darshan today. I had no issues in reaching the prangan, और बहुत अच्छा एक दिव्य दर्शन जिसे मैं कहूँ वो आज मुझे प्राप्त हुए. मेरे लिए बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है.
Why is Ram special?
नहीं, Ram is symbolic of value system. Ram is symbolic of our heritage, our culture. Ram is symbolic of those teachings which teach us human values. And I saw a lot of diversity, in unity in diversity today. Waters from different parts of India, artisans from different parts of India, sculptures from different parts of India, people from all sections of society, religion, faith came together to construct this historical monument, because it was reclaiming our history and it was reclaiming our Indianness. So I think that is what Ram stands for, like how Modi ji said today that Ram is Rashtra, Dev is Desh. So
Right.
it's nation first, and this feeling of nation first is what I'm taking with me today.
Very important aspect, because Mohanji Bhagwat. अच्छा, आप
I
कुछ कहना
just
चाहते
want
थे?
to add here why Ram is very special. Ram is very unifying factor in this country and the society and Hindu society. See, आप वाल्मीकि रामायण पढ़ोगे, कोई भी रामायण पढ़ोगे, तो राम जी के मित्रों में बड़े बड़े राजा लोग नहीं है,
जी.
रिच लोग नहीं है. आई एम नॉट डिमीनिंग एनी रिच एंड राजा, बट राम जी के मित्रों में द फर्स्ट हु इज अ फ्रेंड निषाद राज है, फिशरमैन,
Yeah.
बोटमैन. उनके मित्रों में बानर है, हनुमान जी है, उनके सेवक जो पहले मित्र बने, बाली, सुग्रीव, वो सारी सेना है. रास्ते में ट्राइबल लोग उनके दोस्त हैं ना, सबरी हैं, जिनके प्रति उनका रेस्पेक्ट है. तो ये राम का है कि राम हर कम्युनिटी को इस देश में यूनिफाइंग फैक्टर है. यही राम का सबसे स्पेशल फीचर है.
यूनिफाइंग फैक्टर तो है, बट मोहन जी भागवत ऑल्सो सेड समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि आज भारत को उनका स्व मिल गया. अभय जी, interesting, ladies and gentlemen, most of the people who are talking on dharma and spirituality and the consciousness aspect, they're all scientists, science students also. So this dharma and vigyan combination is interesting. But Abhay ji, I want to ask you, what did he mean by saying Bharat has found its swa today?
Self.
Yeah. So, like she was saying, and then Swami ji said, na, Ram to is desh ki atma hai. I mean, he's the very Atman of Bharat. And today, for the first time, we got our self-respect back after 500 years of struggle. And he also meant by Swa that it's time for us to rediscover ourselves. When Swamiji was pointing out, कि जैसे Valmiki Ramayana or whether you read Tulsi Ramayana, right? Everything really revolves around virtue. So, and it's very nicely layered when they talk about Ramraj, whether it's in Valmiki Ramayana or in Tulsi Manas, right? So it starts with virtue, right? The first thing the nation has to do, the people have to do, the people have to become virtuous, right? People have to practice, they live dharma. The next thing they talk about is that after that you have to look at Mother Earth, nature, everything in nature, right? That has to flourish, that has to be nourished, that has to be taken care of. Only after that you talk about the city state, right? And it's very beautiful, because when Shri Ram comes back from Vanvas, right, to Ayodhya, all of a sudden his role changes, right? Now he is the king, the Raja,
yes.
right? And the Raja is supposed to do Rajan, right? It comes from the root Raj, right? So Karn means soil, right? Everything, the lowest, the smallest creature, right? That is what the duty of Bhagwan Ram was, right? As a Raja, to take care of it, of their welfare down to the lowest. But it starts with every person discovering themselves, right? And that's what the whole virtue thing was all about. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think Mohan Bhagwatji was referring to Swa as we being able to discover ourselves individually, collectively as a nation. We got that back. We got our respect and our Swa.
So we found our essence or Swa back.
And
Yeah.
I'd like to add to what Dr. Abhay Sthana mentioned. The way I look at when Mohan Bhagwat ji talked about this term called Swa. So till yesterday, we have an India or a Bharat, and we have all, at all times in this discourse, idea of India.
Yeah.
And this idea of India, which people often use, has been defined by 5, 10, 20, 100 persons sitting somewhere in Delhi and some urban centers and led by a team, maybe Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. That is the idea of India. That idea of India had been imposed on Bharat, which is a country of 120 or 140 crore persons. So the conventional argument has been that that idea of India is democratic, and the idea which Bharatis have is undemocratic, which is absurd, because how can the idea of 120 persons be more democratic than the idea of 140 crore persons? You understand? The rise of Ram Mandir says that the people are asserting themselves back, and they, in their worldview, they have their worldview, we have our own way of looking, and we respect your idea of India, which is limited in circles in Delhi, but we have a different worldview, and the journey towards that idea of Bharat starts from Ram Mandir.
But that assertion, Swami Mitranandamji, is not an aggressive assertion. Is it an aggressive assertion, or is it just finding themselves? Its mics are already on, so please don't press the button.
Checking?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Say it again.
So this assertion, what he talked about, that people have found there and they're asserting their belief system or they're asserting their Swa, is it an aggressive assertion? Is it, or is it just a finding myself and a confident expression of myself?
My guru, Swami Chinmayananji, in 1990 he was talking and he said the structures which are there in Ayodhya, Kashi and Mathura are victory monuments not meant for prayer. So if something was a victory monument and it existed for 500 plus years, it's a tower of shame.
That's
And
a very
we were-
strong statement to say and call it out and say these are victory monuments and not places of prayer.
Swami Chinmayananji said that
Yes.
in 1990. And it was a long struggle. And we only reclaimed what belongs to us. We did not go and conquer something else. So, the aggression here is dharmic. You have just brought dharma up. If aggression is a word to add to it, it is a dharmic aggression. Otherwise, it's just re-established dharma. What was your own, you reclaimed.
So reclaiming something. Let Praveen speak and then you can add. Yeah.
Yeah, so very well said. I have watched that clip of Pujniya Gurudev. I think the Swa, what I understand, the Swa of Bharat, it was very, blatantly it was crushed after the Islamic invasion started in 712 AD, by Muhammad bin Qasim. And in last 1300 years in this period of colonization, we had slowly lost that Swa. I think with the arrival of Bhagwan Ram in this Bhavya temple that we saw today, and the Pran Pratishtha being done today, I think that is the most important and the biggest step in the direction of decolonization and reclaiming that Swa for us.
Yes, Nachiketa.
I wanted to address this point on aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So you should draw a contrast. We had this Mideast war against Iraq. The American forces went to Iraq, they captured Iraq, they captured Baghdad, and one of the first things which were like visually shocking was there was a big statue of Saddam Hussein, it was brought down. That is aggressiveness. When you walk on the streets in Ayodhya today, which I did and all of us did, you don't see hostility against anyone.
Correct.
People are happy. People have a sense of achievement. People think that a lot of injustice has been removed. And there is no feeling of retribution that, oh, I want to go and beat this person up or do this, something bad to this thing. This is something deeply ingrained in our civilization. So I am not too concerned about this aggressive part. I am just expressing myself. 140 crore people are trying to define themselves. And that definition is competing against the definition imposed by 100% sitting in New Delhi, which is an undemocratic act.
So
that is the way I look at it.
Finding your definition versus what you were told. Deepaji and then Swamiji, I'll come to you.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Ji.
I think to me, Swa means to recognize yourself as proud Indians. To have that self-belief that you are no less on a global platform. I am an athlete. I look at it from the sports point of view. So many years we've gone by, we haven't believed that we are good enough to win Olympic or Paralympic podium medals. And last few years, ever since we are talking about being proud Indians, taking pride in our Swa as citizen of India, it is reflecting in every field of various fields, whether it is economy, whether it is education, whether it is sports, and clearly sports that I come from, we have seen how India has started rising as a sporting nation. Now, we don't just go there to take selfies or to play. Today, when an athlete is preparing, the athlete knows that as Indian, we have the capacity, we have the Swa to go there and take a podium and see the tricolor rise. So that confidence to me of being a proud Indian is the Swa. And that also sort of reflects in today's Ram Pratishtha.
The Pran Pratishtha
Pran
that's happened.
Pratishtha and returning of the Ram.
You've made a very interesting correlation. So, gentlemen, Swamiji and then Swamiji.
Yeah. Just to add aggressiveness,
And then
what
Dr.
you
Swami.
pointed out, see, Modi ji today in his speech very clearly mentioned, जो लोग बोलते थे कि राम जी की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होगी तो आग लग जाएगा, वो सब गलत है. कोई आग नहीं लगेगा, यहाँ से प्रकाश आएगा, है ना. That is ऊर्जा आएगा, प्रकाश आएगा, ऊर्जा आएगा, है ना. That is what is our Swa, and that is what is our assertiveness, that is what is aggressiveness. This is nothing against anybody, So that he very clearly explained and defined.
What you claim fire is what we see as energy. What is actually energy and urja is what you are trying to say is fire.
Yeah.
It's not fire. It's what.
No, on the same line, Sri Aurobindo has mentioned, country whose young men are inspired by glory of past pain of present and dream for a future, move on path of progress.
So,
For a very long time, we were in body Bharatiya.
yeah,
In mind,
True.
we were not Bharatiya.
colonized.
Yeah. So, Western mind in an Indian body. That's how we were. So, this Swa is a very beautiful word. Swadharma, Swatma, Swabodh, one's own knowledge,
Yeah.
one's own Atma, one's own Dharma. So, Swa is your own. Reclaim your position of your own, what you were. Don't live in a mind which is not yours. This temple, being established, gives us back that Swa, my respect, my roots. It is a symbol of going back and owning all that was ours, which is spiritual knowledge, which is material knowledge. We had this beautiful concept of spirituality and materialism combined. Lakshmi, Narayan.
Yes.
Lakshmi, prosperity, Narayan, spirituality. So India, Bharat lived that way always. But then slowly we turned out to be India and followed the Western ideals. So Swa is going back to Swabodh, Swatman, Swadharma, reclaim all that. Yeah.
Dr. Abhay and then Praveen. Yeah.
So I just wanted to take it a little
Yes, please,
further.
yes, please.
I'll broaden it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, see, ultimately, it's a question of lifestyle that we choose for ourselves. I'm just building upon what Swami
Yes, please,
Vivekananda
yes,
ji
please,
said.
yes, please.
And it's a civilizational issue, right? As a civilization, what is the lifestyle that we want to adopt, practice? And it's a important question in today's context. So, our Hindu is a civilizational term, right? It's like a way of life, but it's based on a view of life, right? So, what is the view of life do we want? So, do we want a lifestyle that is based on need and tyag and tapasya, or do we want a lifestyle that is based on want and greed that never ends, right? So that is the choice that we have to make, and that will decide our future, right? So if we choose the path of greed, right, and want, then we'll go down one path.
But sir, if we are a nation whose per capita still is struggling to meet a certain level of standard, we are a nation which is 4% of the landmass but 20% of the world's population, and there are people who are aspirational. Now, is that need or is that want? Now, if people want to grow, if people want a better life, then are they then not going to be on the path of dharma? Are they not going to do right by their country? How do I balance that? Abhayji, and then we'll come back to everybody.
Yeah, let me explain this. One young boy by name Raja Ram went to Swami Chinmayananji and asked, "Can I have your autograph?" So Gurudev asked, "What's your name?" He said, "Raja Ram." He said, "Be Ram inside, Raja outside." That's Bharatiya.
Okay.
Prosperity and spirituality combined. Ram inside, Raja outside.
So somewhere
So those who are aspiring should, because dharma, artha, kama, moksha.
Moksha, yeah.
Artha, let it be backed by dharma.
Dharma.
That's
So dharma first, artha, kama and moksha. So those stages will come through. I'm reminded of Sri Ram Balasubramaniam, a friend of mine and a very good author. He's written about dharmic capitalism. So the whole aspect of what you said, Raja and Ram, all both together. Yes,
but it's actually striking a balance, right? And Swamiji talked about Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga, right? So if in our practices, if in our policies, everything, right? If we strike a balance between spirituality, between prosperity, and nobody is saying materialism, right? Creation of wealth through dharmic practices and means, perfectly fine, right? But, and also intellectual wealth, intellect, right? So, sir, that's what Saraswati would represent. Intellectual growth, spiritual growth and all that, and then Lakshmi, creation of wealth. But most important, and we are in Ayodhya, right? Ayodhya, future, right? We want to make Bharat impregnable, right? Invincible, like Ayodhya.
Like Ayodhya. Inconquerable, impregnable, invincible. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Deepavali here. Ram Diwali is happening. That's why the crackers. And don't mind the crackers at all. We'll continue the conversation. Deepaji wanted to say something and then I'll bring it to Swami Vivekananda.
I think to me, Ram is reclaiming your heritage and altering your mindset. That's what RAM stands to me today. After having that experience at the temple, hearing our Honorable Prime Minister, and that's what we need to do. We need to understand that we are a nation with rich heritage, rich culture, rich values, and if we can just alter our colonial mindset and start believing in the righteousness and the values that the life of Ram teaches us, each one of us will be better humans and more productive citizens to give back to our country. That's what I feel.
So we'll become better humans. But then, this entire aspect of bedrock of colonialism is this word secular. So it's wrapped in this whole aspect of secular. So unless you follow that line of thought, that way of life or that mindset, you will become majoritarian. So when you talk about Ram Rajya is equal to a Hindutva Rashtra or a Hindu Rashtra is equal to a majoritarianist, fascist equation. So all Bharatiya will turn bullies. All Bharatiya will try and quell everybody else. That's the conversation. So don't talk about Hindu
आनंद,
Rashtra.
इसमें
Don't
कोई
talk about
शक
Hindu
नहीं, आज जबरदस्त दीपावली हो रहा है, लेकिन आपने जो पॉइंट किया है, आज के लेक्चर में भी वो मोहन जी ने रिमाइंड दिया, शिवाजी का याद दिलाया, तो शिवाजी का राज तो हिंदू राज था, हिंदवी राज था। उन्होंने कहीं पर भी ये बता दिया जो उस समय उनके राज्य में माइनॉरिटी थे उनको सताया क्या, इसका सबसे क्लासिक उदाहरण है। बल्कि उनकी पत्नियों को अगर जब छोड़ करके भाग गए थे उनको बड़े आदर से उनके यहाँ भेजा, ऐसा दुनिया में कहीं उदाहरण नहीं मिलेगा। यही महाराणा प्रताप का है, हिंदू जहां पर भी है सबको अभय मिलेगा, है ना, उसमें किसी को डर भय नहीं होगा। और ये दुनिया का नियम है, जहां जहां हिंदू मेजोरिटी में है ना, वहीं सबसे अच्छी डेमोक्रेसी सरवाइव कर रही है, फ्लोरिश कर रही है। और यहाँ तक महिलाओं को भी ऊंचा स्थान मिला हुआ है, उन्हीं समाज में मिला हुआ है।
एक चीज मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा,
प्लीज।
इन चीजों से हमें लगता है कि वी शुड नॉट शाई अवे, यू नो लेट अस कॉल आउट द ट्रूथ। इंडिया वाज डिवाइडेड ऑन द लाइंस ऑफ रिलीजन. The countries, which came out of India after division, they became Islamic Rashtra. What is wrong if we say that we want to become Hindu Rashtra? Why should we be apologetic about it?
Especially if we as Bharatiya are proud of the Hindu way of life, which is from a Hindu view of life, as Dr. Abhay said. Yes.
Absolutely, So I think, we should really aspire for, since now we have got back, Ram and this Swa. I think this Swa only we can get 100% when Bharat becomes Hindu Rashtra. And there's nothing wrong in that, And second thing what I would like to say is, there's nothing wrong in aggression also. Bhagwan Ram in his life, if you see, he said, Ram, Goswami Tulsidas has said, Binu bhai ho in apreet. He showed aggression to Samandar, and then, Samandar came in front of him. He showed aggression where it was required. He killed Bali.
See, that is important. Show aggression where it is required.
And it is dharmic.
The aspect is that it should not, from dharma to adharma, the journey can be traversed. Ravana traversed that. From a dharmic person to becoming adharmic, he did that, because you tend to get consumed by that strength that you find. That is where many people will say, देखिए ये यहाँ रुकेगा नहीं, यहाँ से यहाँ जाएगा, यहाँ से वहाँ जाएगा, वहाँ से वहाँ जाएगा. This is what will happen. स्वामी जी, करेक्ट?
लेकिन
यही
यहाँ
कहते हैं ना सब.
इसी चीज को तो सबसे राम से रिलेट करते हैं. तो देखो ना, दुनिया में ऐसा कहाँ उदाहरण मिलेगा. भगवान राम को राज्याभिषेक हो रहा था, पिताजी के एक दृष्टि से, एक इशारे से, उन्होंने अभी तक स्पष्ट बोला नहीं, उनको पता लगा, उन्होंने गद्दी छोड़ के वनवास में चले गए. उनका भाई जिसको गद्दी मिलने वाला था, महाराज भरत, उनको चित्रकूट में बुलाने आए, वहां पर भी उन्होंने नहीं माना. यहां तक कि कैकेयी ने कहा कि मैं तुम्हें अपने वचन से मुक्त करती हूं, है ना, तुम वापस लौट. उसके बाद भी उन्होंने कहा नहीं, मैं तो आपके कहने से नहीं आया, मैंने तो पिताजी के वचन दिया था, इसलिए कहा नहीं आया. उन्होंने अपने भाई को दे दिया खड़ाऊं लेकर के. वो भाई भी इतना महान था कि वो भी यहाँ आकर के अयोध्या में नहीं आया. अयोध्या से बाहर नंदीग्राम में 14 साल रहा, वहां से राज्य का संचालन किया. राज्य कर्तव्य से च्युत नहीं हुआ, राज्य संचालन किया पूरी परंपरा से. खुद कुर्सी पर नहीं बैठा है, खड़ाओं को रख के पूजा किया. भाई जमीन में सोता था, वो गड्ढे खोद कर सोता था. तो ये हमारा वैल्यू सिस्टम है. इसलिए हमारे वैल्यू सिस्टम में इस तरह का डेविएशन नहीं हो सकता. यही तो भगवान राम.
ये हमारा वैल्यू सिस्टम था क्या? आज ये हमारा वैल्यू सिस्टम है? इज इट आवर वैल्यू सिस्टम टुडे इज द बिगेस्ट क्वेश्चन. दीपा जी, एंड देन आई विल ब्रिंग इट बैक टू द जेंटलमैन. या,
So I think that is exactly what why today becomes very important for India, when we say that we have to use today as a reminder of what the true value system is, and we have to take India forward to a future where we can follow that value system. So to me today is not just about a mandir or pran pratishtha of an idol. Today is revoking the value system to become good citizens of India, and have the righteous path and a great administration where everybody lives happily ever after.
Happily ever after. Abhay ji, one question I have, and then all of you can take over. I will not talk, and please express your views freely. My question to you, sir: you are working on a network that is powered by artificial intelligence, so it will correct the fallacies. Now, what kind of artificial intelligence can you now design so that we can correct our mindset, our fallacies? How do we do that? Yahan hai, there is a bug. It's a colonial bug. It's a colonial mindset bug. How do we correct that?
Yeah, it's actually very simple, okay? And the answer was given today, okay? And this is what the whole thing that happened today is all about. It's about, so when you look at Ramaraj, when you look at Shri Ram, right? One word that actually defines him, right? I mean, he was of course an avatar of dharma, truth and justice, but one word that defines him is dhriti, right? Comes from the same root as dharma. So, and dhriti is very clearly defined in Manusmriti, right? Dhriti shamadamo steya socham indriya nigraha, right? Dhri vidya satyam akrodh. So when you look at any one of these virtues, any one of these attributes, right? Can we argue with it? And that's exactly what she's saying, right? In the future, what we want for Bharat, right, is a place where all of these virtues, right, are reflected in every citizen. That's where you want to be, right? So, not much of artificial intelligence is needed. Just remembering, okay, what values Bhagwan Ram represented, and practicing them.
So who's going to play that role of Janmbhoomi?
I want to come back to your question, that is this value system of past or does it exist today? And the only way honestly we can answer this is by looking at facts. Bharat became Swatantra in 1947, and since then this was one of the most smoothest transition to a democratic society. This does not happen by accident. There are lots and lots of countries which got independence from colonial powers, but such a smooth transition did not happen anywhere. And further, this democracy has gotten sustained over last 70 plus years. Again, not an accident. In other places, we went to communism and tens of millions of people were brutally massacred. in the name of ideology. In Bharat also, there were some states which got converted into communist states. But despite that dominance of the communism, large, massive scale murders, killings, and all these things did not happen. Third, over last 70 years, factories, intellectual factories have been established, which have worked overtime to divide the country on lines of caste, religion, creed, language, and so on and so forth. And some of the people who have been pursuing this path that, oh, you divide it, they actually, on record, they have argued that it should be supplemented with violent struggles. And and you see expressions of that violent struggle in the Naxalite belt. But when you look back at the overall picture, overall, the Hindu society has been a very peaceful society. It absorbs changes very, peacefully. So I am not at all concerned that this transition to this new system will be a symptom of triumphalism or, unneeded aggressiveness.
Yeah.
I just like to add one thing, Anand.
Okay, and then Swamiji,
Yeah,
the two
you
Swamijis
said,
will conclude.
does this value system exist today? Well, it does not exist, what happened to the value system? I tell you, it got perverted and corrupted by the education system. Unless we replace this education system with our Guru Shishya Parampara. See, even though Bhagwan Ram and Bhagwan Krishna, they were avatars, but they had to go through the Guru Shishya Parampara. They had to go to the Gurukul, and take, the knowledge, assimilate that knowledge in that parampara. Unless we bring back that glorious parampara and we establish it, value system is there, in our heart. We cannot establish it in the society, in the psyche of the people, and really make it, apparent.
So in the Guru Shishya Parampara, the Guru is more important than the Shishya because the Guru can identify the right Shishya. So do we have the right Gurus to help us become Vishwa Gurus? That's the bigger question. Swamiji.
Before I go to
Yes,
that
sir.
question, the depth of a civilization is understood by its rules on war. War rules will tell us about the depth of our civilization. Imagine the rules which we had during Ram-Ravan war shows the civilization. The rules we had during Mahabharat war. And that practice, when the kings within Bharat, when they were fighting, they maintained those rules. Those rules show the depth of our civilization. What we should do and what we should not do in a war. The conqueror can't take the conquered as a booty. You can't touch the women, you can't destroy temples, you can't, kill elders, make children slaves.
Burn
Rules.
libraries.
Very, very clear rules. So those rules, that kind of a value still exists even today. What happened in Kargil war? When the Pakistanis crossed the border, their government didn't claim the bodies.
Correct.
The Indian army and
Give
the
them
Indian
a-
government under Vajpayee ji sent mullahs up there and gave them an Islamic funeral. Treat the enemy after the death with respect. It's an old value. So if you're talking, those were the values at Rama's time. Are they there now? Very much there. We are still family oriented. Still there is duty. The feeling, the society survives with the values of the families.
Right.
So in my opinion, it was there. It is there. Maybe, maybe we have diverted what we call as Ram Rajya into this. But the 22nd January, as the Prime Minister said, is a moment in history. I think we have taken that U-turn. So we were going on a long journey off track. Now we have taken a U-turn. It will take some more time to come back to the point. So that U-turn has happened. It's now a matter of time to come back to what we call as Ram Rajya.
So the bug has been identified, the update has been installed. It will take some time to reboot.
Anand, I wanted to add to what-
One second.
I wanted to just one sentence. I wanted to amplify what Swamiji mentioned.
Yeah, I was going to talk.
The Ram Janmbhoomi movement has succeeded because we have held on to these values. Had we not subscribed to these values, we would have said this is just a building and ignore it. Because we are anchored in those values, thoda hai, jada hai, you can keep on arguing till death. Because we are still anchored in these values, that's why crores and crores of people have emotionally supported this movement. Regardless of this.
All right, okay. Abhyaji, and then the final 2 minutes to Swamiji. Yeah.
I just want to add to what Swamiji was saying, Nachiketa is saying. So, see, people make this argument, oh, you're going backwards, technology, okay, we have to move forward and this and that. Technology and innovation has been a part of our civilization ever since it started. Right? And what the difference is that when we talk about technology, it's technology with a purpose. It's technology and science with a conscience. And that is what makes all the difference, okay? So we develop technology that is not going to disrupt the balance of nature, right? As long as we do that and we keep that in mind, that leads to something that is Shreyas, because you're looking at the ultimate good of all, okay, the whole ecology, the whole system, right? So, and that's what Bhagavan Krishna is talking about in Bhagavad Gita, right? Shreyas. So that is our view of life. That is how, when he's saying make a U-turn and come back, that is what we want to go.
What we want to do. Sir,
Okay.
final
Two things I want to mention here, because in this discussion, first about the value system, what we are talking is very important, especially for the present political class, जहाँ एक बहुत पहले कवि का कविता है, सिंहासन घेर पड़े अजगर बड़े बड़े, बर्रे की बस्ती में बिच्छू सरगना हुआ, खेत गड्ढे चरते हैं आंसू भूखे मरते हैं ना। आज ये पॉलिटिकल क्लास की रियलिटी है भारत में, उसको भगवान राम का आदर्श जो है ना, उसको फॉलो करना चाहिए। मैं शाकुंतलम का उदाहरण देता हूं 2 और फिर अयोध्या पर आऊंगा कि शकुंतला को लेकर के ऋषि कनु की पत्नी, उनकी माता दुष्यंत के राज दरबार में पहुंचती है। अभी राज दरबार नहीं, राजमहल के सामने पहुंचती है ना, और सुबह सुबह अर्ली मॉर्निंग का टाइम होता है, तो गार्ड पूछता है, देखो कितना हमारा गार्ड में भी गट्स होता है उस जमाने में, गार्ड पूछता है किस लिए आए हो? तो शकुंतला की माता कण्व ऋषि की पत्नी कहते हैं हमें राजा से मिलना है। तो कहते हैं कि देखो यहाँ घंटा रखा हुआ है, एक घंटा बजाओ, आविस्त्रो में लोकतंत्र अधिकार, तुम्हारा अधिकार है, राजा मिलने आएगा तुम्हारा। देखो एक गढ़ से गार्ड का जो जनता को एश्योर करता है, बता रहा है कि घंटा बजाओ, राजा आएगा, ये तुम्हारा अधिकार है, राजा के ड्यूटी परफॉर्म करेगा। तो हमें आज के ये सब लोगों को भगवान राम से सीखना चाहिए। Coming to you talking about the prosperity, I am just bringing to Ayodhya
final
here.
30 seconds, we are live, so I have to wind up.
On अयोध्या के बारे में वाल्मीकि रामायण में लिखा हुआ है ना, सुराजमार्गे ने महता सुभक्त शोभिता मुक्त पुष्प किरण जल सिक्ते नित्य स। Ayodhya is graced with a beautifully ramified extensive highway which is daily sprinkled with the water. That time, can you imagine this description is matching with the Californian road,
That's the perspective. Phenomenal.
One line.
One line. Okay, ma'am. 10 seconds, I have to wind up.
So, रघुपति रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाई पर वचन न जाई। और अब जो नया वचन, जो नया संकल्प है, वो विकसित भारत का है। तो राम से हम एक इंस्पिरेशन ले, और मेरी सबसे यही गुजारिश है कि विकसित भारत का संकल्प, गिव दैट कमिटमेंट टू इट एंड लेट अस मेक राम राज्य बाय 24/7 एंड मेक
Why 24/7? Let's do it before that.
Yes.
We can do
So
it
that's
if
the
we
Viksit Bharat
commit to it together as a nation.
Yes.
If we commit to it together as a nation. To all of you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amazing conversation. Amazing,
Jai Shri Ram.
amazing conversation.
Jai Shri Ram.
We're going to wind up on that note. Stay with us. Brass Tacks after a very, very short break.